Alright, I'm going to start recording again. Hello everybody, welcome to another evening casting Dota. This is the Clam Gaming versus Catgirl Connoisseur. Catgirl Connoisseur has gone with Radiant. They're going to get first pick. They ban out Axe. These are good bans. My understanding is that Bearcat, based on some lobby chat, picks a lot of Viper. So that explains that early ban. I might like to see a Sand King ban in these first rounds as well. He seems very strong. Just with his Ag Scepter being able to disrupt a lot in the team fights and being inconsistent with the stuns. It's like a Torrent Storm with 100% uptime. And it follows the Sand King too, which is pretty nice. It's also not on a dead hero. Which is what Winter Gaming called Kunkka this morning. The Dazzle ban is probably player specific. I think that makes
10 seconds remain.
It's a little odd, personally.
5 seconds remain. Dial team ban.
I like the Spearbreaker ban. He's a very strong hero. Being able to just charge in and then run away just as fast is actually very handy. It's definitely not broken Valve, though. Don't fix it. I love it. Please don't take that away from me. And the Venge ban. So the last ban is going to sit with the Radiant. And then they get that first pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if they just first picked the Sand King and didn't ban it, unless there's a hero that their lineup really wants, but that Sand King is definitely a good overall first pick.
The sun has set.
And they banned Tinkerer. That hero was trash. I'm very surprised they wasted a ban on that. If I could pick that for my opponents in most situations, I would. But they pick up Storm Spirit. That's a hero that got some considerable buffs. You got the Walking Remnant. You also have a Bloodstone just automatically built, or should I say Old Bloodstone, automatically built into your hero. It's always bold to first pick. I think they're might run it. I had to play against it running as a support, and that was certainly interesting. The Wind Ranger pick comes out in response. That's a decent hero if they want to lane it up against a Storm Spirit. So if Storm goes mid, they can send Windrunner mid, and that's a fairly safe matchup. It also provides a lot of lockdown with the Shackle Shot. It's inconsistent, but if you can get a Shackle Shot and a Focus Fire off, you really only need one other stun just to come in there and help out killing the Storm. But we go back to the bans, and miraculously Sand King makes it through the first ban and first pick phase.
The sun has set as bleak doom stares between the stars.
The Night Stalker ban makes sense. It's a strong hero. The way that they reverse the day and night cycle as well is quite frustrating. It just gives them a much stronger laning stage than what they would have had before. The downside is that 5 to 10 minute mark isn't as good, but then again, that's usually when you pick up your ult. So the absence of night at that point isn't as keenly felt because you can always impose night with your ulti. And the Chaos Knight being banned as well. I think that hero's in a fairly good spot. We'll have to see exactly what sort of lineup they go for. But yeah, if you're planning on picking a lineup that doesn't have a lot of illusion clear, banning out the Chaos Knight is good. The Slaughter ban is also, I think, necessary. He's a very strong hero. Again, I'm surprised that Sand King has made it through. He should absolutely get picked in this phase. They go Tiny. My understanding of Tiny this patch is that he's gotten considerably stronger. Can be played as a carry against certain heroes. The craggy exterior reducing damage makes him very difficult to kill.
10 seconds remain.
He can also be played as a support in some situations.
5 seconds
You know,
remain.
we saw Jerax, of course, play that quite well. That was like a couple TIs ago, but you know the principle still stands. You have the ability to reposition someone quite easily with toss.
Radiant team
You have a decent amount of burst damage. And now comes the Sand King. Essentially a hero that's gotten much, much stronger with this patch. I do like Sand King, but the way I traditionally liked him was that blink, burrow strike, ton of damage.
10 seconds remain.
Just sort of walking in with your sandstorm and the stuns going off all around you is
5 seconds remain.
comical. And hey, one thing that it cannot be denied is that it is effective. The maybe one concerning thing for the Catgirl Connoissuers is that they've burned through quite a bit of their reserve time, whereas the Clam Gaming squad is still sitting at a full 2 minutes and 10. So maybe when we're getting to this last phase of bans and picks, it will put a little pressure on them. Phoenix,
Captain's mode.
good hero, big team fight ulti, and certainly got some upgrades in this patch just with the way that her attack slow works and her burn works.
10 seconds remain.
I played with a friend the other day,
5 seconds remain.
but that AoE burn, 6% of their health per second, actually can do quite a bit of damage. Especially, it's I think underestimated what it can bring to a laning stage if you're playing against the melee carry. And I said that they were had a lot of reserve time, and now they're starting to run through it. I think they do want someone who hits egg. Tiny's not the best at it. Windrunner wants to sort of be focusing someone else down. It's not like a Jug or a Life Stealer who can just rage or spin and hit the egg, or a Drow who just has the attack speed. But if that's their potentially their 1 and their 2, they're got to pick up something in their 3 that lets them do that. Then again, the first 2 picks from the Clam Gaming can flex. Like I said, Windrunner, you know, could be a support potentially. Usually is a mid in most of the experiences I've had in Dota, and Tiny can also be a carry. And they go with the Meepo. That hero hits egg like nothing else. It's a little early in a draft to go for a Meepo pick. That being said, the hero definitely can be used to some success. He has the ability to use that neutral item slot to basically give all of his Meepos an item that does 50% cooldown. So, you know, something like a Hex gets some, not quite double value, but a considerable boost in value on that hero.
Radiant team pick.
Weaver's good. That's probably going to be a support. Usually employed as a 4, but they might still want to flex the Tiny. My understanding of their lanes now is that, you know, Meepo will probably be going middle.
Remain.
Weaver will probably be...
5 seconds remain.
Well, I don't know, to be perfectly honest. This is a weird lineup. I think if you look at lane matchups, you would prefer to put Meepo in the safe lane, dodge the Storm, and put Windrunner in the mid lane against the Storm. But I think Meepo wants that extra experience that he gets from the mid lane too much to be relegated to the safe lane, where he's going to be sharing experience with the support. Granted, that support might be a Weaver who wants to rotate early, or who has the potential, I should say, to rotate early. I don't know if I actually want to, but that's going to make things a little bit more difficult. And now the Catgirl Connoissuers are looking for something that's going to be able to kill that Meepo and provide some AoE. And they pick Centaur. Centaur isn't a hero I think of when I think about countering Meepo, but it is certainly a safe off-lane pick. Now they have to ban out a hero. And I think they should just, yeah, they ban out the Snapfire because it's good against the egg. They should just ban heroes that are generally good against theirs, because it's a little tough to tell where these lanes are going from the Dire. To be clear, there's still some questions for the Radiant lineup. I don't think Storm should be a support, but I think they could run Storm as a support. It's also a question of whether Sand King is going off lane or mid lane, and whether Phoenix is going off lane Phoenix is going to be a support, Storm's going to be a support, Sand King's going to be mid, Centaur's going to be off lane. I think they just have to pick their safe lane.
Dial team ban.
Sven ban makes sense. That's quite good against Meepo. He can dig and he can stack, but there's still just a lot of damage coming out and a lot of cleave that can really make that Meepo's life incredibly difficult. And they ban Jug. I don't think Jug is personally that great against Meepo. Maybe the player who plays Meepo knows something about this matchup that I don't, but I just see your clone soaking a lot of the Omni Slash, which is a significant portion of Jug's damage in this meta. So look at the last ban.
5 seconds remain.
I might ban out Oracle here, and I don't know why. It just looks like a good Oracle game with all the jump they have. They ban out Darkseer, so they clearly think that a 3 position still has to get picked, and they have to pick a carry that knows how to deal with this Meepo. I guess a gyro would be okay. The problem is they have a tiny, which if you right-click that tiny, your damage from flat cannon is just reduced all over. They only have 10 seconds left, so they do have to make a quick decision. Lifestealer. Not against that. They do have some good heroes in the Sand King and the Centaur Warrunner for a Lifestealer bomb. Get that blink stun, Lifestealer pops out, makes it very easy to kill certain heroes. The Lifestealer doesn't innately provide any lockdown, but hopefully he's, with the Ghoul Frenzy slow, able to punch into these heroes enough to take them down. He also is going to go for a Radiance, so he'll at least be burning these slippery heroes. And the evasion affecting all of the Meepo clones does reduce their damage in the same way that the evasion, or the burn, on all the PL illusions reduces their damage as well. So I don't think it's a bad last pick. Certainly Rage is going to be helpful. They could also go for the Unfettered build, but a lot of the builds I've been seeing people go on this Lifestealer involves that very early levels in Corpse Eater, I think it is, that gives him two health points for every dead creep. And the last pick to come out is the Alchemist.
Captain's mode.
So I really have no idea what this lineup is from the Clam Gaming. I am thoroughly confused. That might be a support Alch. It looks like a support Alch. It's definitely a core Meepo. But, you know, we'll have the opportunity to... Okay, I think this is a support Tiny, based on him going Crash Landing. Okay, no, Alchemist has gone Seed Money now. So, he's probably going to be a core. So they're going core Meepo, core Alchemist, support Windrunner, support Tiny, and core Weaver. Centaur Warrunner has gone the horsepower build that will essentially allow them to skip boots and just build strength. Storm Spirit went for Shock Collar, which can be helpful in terms of limiting people. So we will get into the game. Introducing the Radiant, they've smoked up right from the beginning. We have Target on the Sand King, Space Cowboy on the Storm Spirit. We have Excess on the Centaur Warrunner, Bearcat on the Lifestealer, as well as Darth Pikachu playing the Phoenix. On the side of the Dire, we have Pingling playing the Alchemist, TC on that Windrunner. Clam on the Weaver. We have Cinder. He's playing the Tiny. Level 1 tree throw. It looks like it's actually going to be a carry Tiny. He gets found out early. They jump on him with one stun. They hit him with the other. He's trying to walk it off, and he does have a lot of strength, but the open wounds come out, and he is just going to get ticked down. Space Cowboy even skills the Electric Vortex right off the bat. He gets galvanized, so that mana regen kicks in. But the one person I haven't introduced, the person this game depends on a lot, is Giggles. He is playing that Meepo, and he is going into the mid lane.
Goodness.
So it looks like we are going to have... this isn't an offlane tri-lane. They're just here to secure runes, probably. But I suppose... Ooh, Pingling, he spots them out, and now they're going to be able to chase him. He does have some speed, popping the Unstable Concoction. The Meepo is getting gone on. They hit him with one stun, they hit him with the other. Darth Pikachu is now getting ran at. He might die, but Giggles will probably pay for it in return. Darth Pikachu dies first, then Giggles dies. It's still a 3-on-2, and Target is being isolated. They do kill him off, and in comes Pingling again. Bearcat backs away to not get stunned, and now it's him against the 3 heroes of the Dire. He has to run back to his base, and we are 30 seconds into this game, and we are already at 5 kills. Pingling charging up another stun. There's an open wounds on the Life Stealer, so he doesn't have rage. He can't dodge that, and Darth Pikachu steps in to even things out a little bit. On the mid lane, it is the Meepo versus the Sand King. Sand King now starts with Caustic Finale, just barely a level, but enough to make things inconvenient or uncomfortable. The top lane, Space Cowboy tries to go on Cinder, realizes that he does not have a Static Remnant and he does not have Overload, so he's going to be playing a support Storm Spirit, just prepping and helping excess here against the Windrunner. Who's already running reasonably low actually on experience. Ooh, cheeky deny. On the bottom lane, they are onto the Phoenix. He is just barely living on 27 HP because Pingling has to retreat, as does Clam, because the Life Stealer is just getting to right-click them down. Bearcat chasing them, but Weaver turns it around and runs back in. They've gone for the Skitter Step. That gives them extra move speed and a tiny slow while passing through the enemy team. And we see the Corpse Eater starting to be built up. He already has 14 extra experience. It does count on denies, which is quite helpful. Pingling makes a pull. The wave is now under their tower, and a fairly safe spot for the Dire. The pull's blocked, preventing the Radiant from correcting it easily. If they do want to pull, they're going to be pulling off of the Dire hard camp, which is much easier for them to contest. Meepo now has his other Meepo up, and it seemed like Sand King made himself a little bit vulnerable there, but ooh, and the pause comes out. Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Goodness.
So the shit talk seems to have started, at least a little bit. But the good news is that at least the wave is in a reasonable position for both of the off lanes, so their heroes are going to have some success. But the action does seem like it's about to pop off here in the middle, with Giggles channeling up that poof. Looks like we're going to be ready to get started again.
Continue this wild expression of wrath.
And nothing happened. They're going to secure top rune and bottom rune simultaneously with the Meepos. The stun comes out from target. He misses the stun. And now... I do believe we are remaking the game.
The battle resumes.
So, this seems like people have flying vision over towers, which is very odd and gives everything flying vision. So this is interesting. We certainly got a new patch that I had to verify just before the game started, but this is certainly a unique problem. Well, we'll simply have to wait for these problems to be solved. There's not a whole lot we can do about it at this point, unfortunately. Valve broke their game, and we are left in the lurch. The game resumed, then was paused, and now it appears that everything is fixed. So we are going to be playing on Pingling, charging up a stun, running forward, throws it onto Phoenix, and that's it. Nothing else happens. In terms of the early items that we have coming out, the Weaver seems to be the core on this bottom lane, just farming up. They didn't challenge. Ooh, they're challenging for the Lotus. The Life Stealer gets it, however. And now Clam is 9 seconds waiting for a Sakuchi. They've taken the opportunity to go onto him. The stun coming out onto the Life Stealer, slowing him down, but he's not going to be slowed down. He goes to the Weaver. The Weaver lives on 90 HP. Meanwhile, on top lane, they've gone onto the Storm Spirit, but it's not going to be enough to get that kill, and XS is now running down TC. No, not Tyler Cook, trash carry from the TI3 Liquid days. Just TC. Totally unrelated. Access almost getting the kill there, but TC, I think, used a wand as well as a Lotus Orb just to get some HP up. As far as lanes go, the Sand King seems to be handily winning the mid lane, 22-14 in terms of CS. I did think this would be a lane that is somewhat Sand King favored, just against melee heroes that, whatchamacallit, his old E. Why do I not know English? Caustic Finale is excellent against it. I think we're going to see Meepo catch up, of course, as they're able to back off and farm up the jungle. On the bot lane, they do kill the Lifestealer. Clam is able to get that kill after almost dying himself earlier. He gets revenge. Weaver going for an early Falcon Blade, and it looks like top lane, it's about to kick off. Space Cowboy has gone onto Cinder. Out comes the power shot. Space Cowboy living with just a shred of HP. The tree toss comes out, but misses. And now Cinder is left at a quarter HP, getting beat on by the Centaur Warrunner of Excess. So almost 2 kills, one going the way of the Dire and one going the way of the Radiant, very close. TC now just harassing. Centaur gets pissed, goes in and claps on him, but that's about all he can do while his Storm Spirit is walking back to base and healing up. Weaver is playing fast and loose in the bottom lane, does have that Falcon Blade up and is trying to contest, but it's a tough lane for Weaver to fight into. Ooh, and they jumped in with the Phoenix, maybe looking for something cheeky, but just scaring him back a little bit. And Lifestealer is well ahead in this lane by 7 CS. Has a number... Ooh, missed those 2 CS though. Has the same number of denies, of course. He's going for phase boots, already has the early bracer just to tank up a little bit in lane. And Phoenix also has the bracer. It looks like Pingling, they want to go in onto the Phoenix. Out comes the stun. That's a big stun, and they're able to kill them with the Blood Grenade. However, they get the return kill onto the Alchemist. Clam, just deciding to fight this out, has the Sakuchi, so is able to run away. But, you know, more gold to the Lifestealer. On the mid lane, meanwhile, Target, I did not miss that one, gets a kill with the Epicenter and with the Stinger. Max level on the Stinger. Very interesting. Interesting exchange, but I suppose that does make sense. On the top lane, I see pings coming out. I assume there's action. Excess is going on to Cinder. Space Cowboy coming in for the assist. I think they may have comboed some things improperly there, but it does not matter. And now they're chasing down TC. Lifestealers underneath their tower, trying to... Looked like he was going for their Wisdom Rune there. Wasn't able to get him as Pingling chases them off. Clam comes in, gets a slow off, but I don't think he wants to stay around and fight. I feel like that is a quick way for him to die. And Lifestealer wants to go back. Wants to get that wave anyways. Ooh, TC stealing that Wisdom Rune. Might pay for it with his life, and does. But at the very least, that's a lot of experience now that they're not going to be able to get.
Trinkets and shiny baubles, or was it priceless artifacts?
Phoenix has rotated to this top lane now through the twin gates. Seems like they may want to be making a play onto the Tiny. The stun comes out to start. The grab comes in. The pull comboed that properly that time. And the burn coming out from the Phoenix is enough to finish them. TC throws out that chain and retreats back under the safety of his tier 1 tower. So a very effective rotation from the Phoenix. They were denied those Wisdom Runes, but they have come back with a vengeance. Meanwhile, the Dire see their opportunity, and they jump on the bottom lane, getting that level 6 onto the Weaver. Not going to time-lapse, because it's not going to give them very much HP, but a very nice kill on the Lifestealer, taking advantage of seeing the Phoenix rotate top and alleviate the pressure. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Alchemist, they TP in, they get that kill. I think Sandking tried to make a repeat of his earlier kill using the Epicenter, but this time Gnar was prepared. There's another dive happening top where they're TPing in onto Excess. We'll see if they manage to catch it. They miss with that net, but they are going to be able to chase them down. That's a very interesting angle on the shackle shot, but they do manage to get it to latch, and they do get that kill. So a rapid train of kills around the map, and you know, this game's proved to be violent based on the 5 kills prior, but prior to the Horn. But now it's 15 kills in 9 minutes. And I think I've only missed one. Or only completely missed one, I should say. So as far as things go, I'm not performing too badly. Looking at the level situation, the Dire only missing their level 6 on their... yes, my apologies. They only missing their level 6 on their Tiny and their Windrunner. Ooh, it looks like Target might be able to get a kill here on Pingling, but Pingling ults, he's able to heal up. On the Radiant, they're missing their level 6 on both of their supports. They might have already had that on the Storm Spirit if they had been able to secure that Wisdom Rune. So, at the very least, denying some early action and some early aggression from the Storm Spirit by taking that. Meepo has backed off, very content to just farm the jungle in the mid lane. Pingling getting low again. That ult on Chemical Rage might be running out soon, but he's going to be under the safety of his tier 1 tower now. He's been collecting gold, he's been collecting experience. The Centaur ult comes out onto the top lane, out goes the stun, but it is not enough to save the Wind Ranger. She dies, being taken down quite pointedly by the Space Cowboy, punishing her for stealing that Wisdom Rune. Interested to see what he'll do with this level 6. Ooh, Target gets another kill, taking down the Alchemist. So the Dire seem to have taken this strategy almost of spreading out the lanes and avoiding confrontations where they feel like they may be weaker in exchange for some superior farm on their heroes. The Weaver backing up and farming, the Tiny backing up and farming, the Alchemist getting to farm the middle lane. And so even though they're giving up these kills, the gold lead hasn't changed very much in the last few minutes, just simply because of how much they're spreading themselves across the map and getting some space. There's interesting smoke that comes out here mid. I suppose they do have the Diffusal Blade now on the Meepo, and maybe that's an item timing that they want to try and play with. But their other heroes on the map just aren't set up for it. Space Cowboy coming in top, zipping in onto the Windrunner, hitting her once, but that's all getting dodged. The Overload, not affected by evasion, does go off, but it's not enough. He is able to somewhat dodge the alchemic concoction, but Space Cowboy, now running out of mana, might just be able to get run down. They try and stun with excess to keep him alive. He's able to press his buttons. The toss comes in, they kill him off, and Meepo is in. They Phoenix Egg defensively, and it seems like they're about to back off, but they don't. They're able to pick off the Windrunner. It's a 1-for-1 so far in the top lane, and it looks like Gnar trying to get on top of the Centaur. They're going to be able to burst him down. The tree toss is enough to kill him. They have the... Oh, Meepo dies to the Sunray and to the Sand King. And now they bring everyone from the Dire, but that is a 2-for-2, I believe, a fairly even gold exchange. More experience, however, going to the Radiant, so they'll be happy with that. But this entire time, you had Lifestealer on the bottom lane, just farming away. I can't be certain what announcement went out. Oh, it seems that it has been cancelled. The matches today have been cancelled due to the vision bug. Game 1 will be repeated with the same heroes next week, unless a patch or something similar drops. So I think we're going to play this one out. That seems to be what the teams would like to do. And we'll get to play again with the same heroes next week. Maybe we'll see some clown stuff because of that. I guess one of the first clown things is that TC took a double damage room despite being a support. I'm going to keep casting this one. I'm enjoying it. I do think it'll be a very interesting game to see how this support Storm Spirit, support Phoenix duo works out, especially against the Meepo. It's always nice to see how people approach Meepo games.
Dire's bottom tower is the target of clearly superior forces.
So Alchemist, the support Alchemist, has gone for an early Blink Dagger.
Dire's middle tower is under siege.
He went for the seed money, so that's somewhat run its course already. But he does start with some extra gold that's going to be able to help. And it looks like the Radiant might want to put a little bit of pressure on mid. Right-clicking down that tower. The acid spray is burning it down. But they are all set up, and the Meepos are stacking
Invincible for a short
quite
time.
pointedly, or quite tenaciously. It's almost like they're baiting the Sand King to try and jump on them. But they do make a move bottom now, trying to work towards this Lifestealer. He shows they're going to need to get a shackle shot, I think, from the Windrunner to try and make this kill work.
Dire's middle tower.
Ooh, and they do. They latch it successfully. Out comes the stun. Out comes the focus fire. Lifestealer not able to jump into a creep in time, and he dies. On the other side of it, they get a kill onto the Meepo. Don't have to use Epicenter, but it is 4 of them collapsing on him, whereas 3 people are collapsing onto the bot lane, onto that Lifestealer. They're TPing, and they do want to defend. The first person to go in is the Sand King. They blink the stun. Oh, sorry, the most obvious person to go in is the Sand King. The blink stun from Centaur comes out, and they burst down the Weaver very easily. Not even time to time lapse. And now they're still chasing, still looking for targets, but not able to get anyone else. A 3k lead has been built up for the Radiant. Certainly something I'm sure they'll be happy to see. 3k lead against the Meepo and an Alchemist, 2 heroes that are very good at just accumulating gold, is quite beneficial at this stage in the game. A very nice ward being placed on the high ground here. It'll allow the Radiant to sort of fight in this triangle, but they elect to retreat, blinking out on the Centaur. Maybe just trying to draw some attention while their Lifestealer farms away in the top lane.
Beware, Dire, or overconfidence can be a slow and insidious.
Lifestealer might have been spotted there, though. The Meepo is hanging around,
Dire's middle tower is being assaulted.
but he's just sort of backing up the Tiny. Cinder is Arctery's in the Discord if any of you want to have a discussion with him about crash landing. I did miss a kill that came about in the enemy triangle. I talked about that ward. They placed the sentry down just to help them get that kill on the Weaver. Alchemist blinking away, trying to avoid this gank squad that's coming out. Oh,
Radiant's bottom tower is assailed by fiends.
that's a little
Its destruction.
aggro. You know, calling people animals is a little mean. Alright, I'm assuming that this is an inside joke or something like that. But Darth Pikachu does not seem very happy about this. And now the middle lane tower
Dire's middle tower
getting pressured
by the enemy.
by the Radiant. The Dire once again planning their strategy of bleeding a kill, but then spreading the map. Meepo farming top, Weaver farming Ancients, Wind Ranger farming bottom, Tiny also farming top. So a little bit of overlap there. This Tiny doesn't seem to be in the best possible spot. Not totally behind the net worth. Technically, he is still higher than the Centaur, but speaking of him and the Centaur, they're getting into an engagement here top. Storm Spirit zips in, able to grab him, maybe miscomboing, almost dying themselves, but gets stunned down by the Sand King before... Tiny, I should say, gets stunned down by the Sand King before he's able to finish the kill on the Storm Spirit. However, again, spreading that map, splitting up, and farming is the name of the game. And with them being shown top, they elect to just go in and tap down this mid tier 1 tower middle. There's a fortification coming out. That's not one that's going to be refreshed. Sand King TP's in mid behind the trees, able to hop onto the Meepo. We'll see how this actually ends up going. It looks like they do want to fight it. They're jumping in with the Alchemist, trying to kill down that Sand King. They do kill him down. He burns down to Giggles. Giggles burrowing his hero, getting some HP regen, propping himself up. Out comes the stun from Alk. It's not going to be enough to save his carry. Meepo does die, but they're able to get a return kill onto the Phoenix. And then they die as well on pingling. So overall, I believe that's a 2 for 2. The mid tower going down in the midst of that. A slight gold benefit for the Dire, but not enough, I think, to make that worth it in any considerable way. Lifestealer went for that armlet. He's now going for that Radiance, rapidly approaching it. That's a huge power spike for him. You also have a Blade Mail on that Centaur Warrunner. A very valuable hero when you have, AoE bouncing around, when you have things like Focus Fire. Storm jumping in. They manage to catch Clam under the vision. He gets bursted down incredibly easily. They respond with TPs, but one of those gets cancelled, and it looks like they're able to just back out of it. A smash and grab job here by the Radiant, but it is one that will go unsentenced. Phoenix has a Midas, getting those extra levels, and I think is going to be going for the Tranquil Boots. They get the Urn Charge onto that Meatbow. He'll bury himself. Oh, he just blinks out. And he blinks away to safety. A lot of Sun Ray ticks, but not enough. That doesn't do damage. It just means he misses. So he's safe. Meanwhile, on that bottom lane, they are going in. They found target, trying to run him down with TC. Got to keep up that vision. He's trying to get his ulti off. Maybe he's able to get a kill here onto the Windrunner. Those epicenter pulses doing damage, but not enough to finish them off. Cinder also getting very low from that. So there was some potential in that. It wasn't a totally foolhardy play, but at the end of the day, it doesn't end up working out how that Sand King envisioned. They're also putting pressure once again on this top lane, wanting to push down that tier 2. Meepo bravely face-checking them, just saying, there might be 3 heroes, but I have 3 units here. That's an even fight as far as he's concerned. He's going for an Aghanim's Scepter next. That gives him the Mega Meepo. For those of you who don't play with a lot of Meepo players or haven't seen this, I think it's actually a very good solution for AoE-heavy lineups that are relying on that to lock down the Meepo. You essentially have the ability to save one of your Meepos that gets gone on by just stacking them. Clam getting stunned by excess. They jump on him and they're able to just, almost burst him down. He gets a time lapse off and he's running away. And he gets out of there. The Meepo's coming in, as is the Alchemist, but reinforcements also arrived and then departed from the Radiant. Looks like Cinder wants to try and go on target. They are going on him, and he is rooted. He is stunned. They are unable to really fight into this Sand King ult. Alchemist dies first. XS almost getting taken down by the sheer damage. They do manage to take him out, killing him off very easily. They threw in the Meepo, who had to burrow, and Lifestealer now jumps in that Sand King, making him strong. The Mega Meepo comes out, helping him live for a little while longer, but that extra burst damage from the Lifestealer kills him off and is able to just take them down. That Radiance Burn certainly chipping away at some of the heroes in that fight. Target diving deeper, but tiny. Cinder retreating back to his base. I swear to God, if my mouse does this thing again, it just zooms in and out sometimes unnecessarily. I will just go buy a new mouse. I will throw you in the garbage. Shape up. So despite that team fight very much going their way, and me forgetting to check the team fight recap, it's only a 4k gold lead so far for the Radiant. I was thinking things might be a little bit higher for them, but we'll see what's able to come of that. Their jump on to Arcteryx in that mid lane. The ult coming out from the Sand King with that stun. A counter stun from the Alchemist, but it's not enough to keep that Tiny alive. And now they're just sort of stepping around the Sand King, trying not to get caught by him, but he jumps on them, and with the stuns coming out onto Weaver, he might have to time-lapse, gets it off in time, but they ult in with the Centaur ult, and Weaver is able to get away. Centaur pops his Blade Mail, perhaps a little bit delayed.
Dire's top tower is under siege. Radiant's bottom tower is under fiendish assault. Dire's top tower is under attack. Enemies gather at Radiant's tower.
Maybe Phoenix just dove. I'm not quite certain about that. Meepo's farming a number of lanes in that bot lane. They understand sort of the situation. They can't fight them head on. 800 gold swing from that team fight. But this is, again, the type of game where you're playing against an alchemist who just naturally inhales gold. You're playing against the Meepo, who's also very good at generating gold. But I say that, they jump on the alchemist in the mid lane, able to kill him off. His stun goes off, but it's not quite enough. It really, even though we can accumulate gold, it just seems to be a bit of a money bag for them to punch and take down. 1 and 6 KDA. He does have 13 assists. Phoenix popping that egg because they see our carries. They're able to burst him down as well. At this point, I think I would start the 1x1 chant. It's pretty not obvious maybe that they're there, but it is certainly something that you should be expecting. A wave pushing in top, maybe TC thinks that they can try and rat this out somehow. I gotta say, I do like this support Wind Ranger build, going for the mechanism, going for the Force Staff. Real big items just to help out her team. Nothing too aggressive, nothing too greedy. Lifestealer TP's back. I would like to see maybe some of the Dire heroes try and run back so they can get out and get a positive engagement without the Lifestealer being present. They also may try and kill the Lifestealer down here, but this is a very difficult target to catch out. I would not be comfortable trying this. The rat may continue, however. Clam going in. Has that shard, which is certainly a good upgrade to Sakuchi. Really helps them farm. Has the Gleipnir, so those lightning bounces are going to be basically a pretty big acceleration. Looking at the net worth charts, the one person absolutely dominating this game is the Sand King. Has that Eternal Shroud, has that Aghanim Scepter, has that Bloodstone, but doesn't have a neutral camp there. Has to go take one over there, because... Anyways, he knows what he did. I don't need to point it out. They are also making an effort now to take Roshan on the top lane. We'll see if the Dire try and contest. They've smoked up on 2 of their heroes, but they just seem to be, again, going out on the map to take space and farm up. There is a creep wave pushing in top, so they have wards set out as well, so they know that the Dire won't be coming to contest their Roche Pit attempt. I don't think this game has gone the way the Dire really wanted it to. They've just sort of gotten caught up in a large number of team fights. That being said, this game has now become a scrim, so it's a little... the circumstances, I should say, are somewhat unusual. And we may not be saying some serious play, or the most serious of plays. Kaya on Alchemist, I should say, looking to be going for that Meteor Hammer. Always a fun item to go, but certainly one of the clownier items. Wind Ranger is ratting out mid. Bearcat trying to catch them. They ult on the Centaur. TC running, hiding in the woods, and able to just quietly TP out. So despite the committing of the Centaur ult there, or the commitment, I should say, of the Centaur ult there, they're able to get away. Clam is also farming up, going for an SNY. I think just looking for something that can mitigate some of the status resistance from those stuns. I'm so stupid. It no longer provides status resistance. It just provides... No, but the SNY still provides status resistance. I mean, they're going on the Weaver. He has time lapse, but the stun comes out and hits him anyways. Yeah, Sanj and Yasha gives 25% status resistance. Okay. Sanj itself does not. Oh, but they managed to get a good kill, taking out Excess and taking out the Phoenix. So they drop those 2 heroes, even though their Weaver has gotten caught. They're also trying to go in. I do not recommend this. The big ult coming out from the Space Cowboy, as well as the Meteor Hammer. I don't think he actually finished casting that. Ooh, Cinder hopping in, bursting down that Lifestealer, taking away that Aegis. It's a very, very good kill, but at the end of the day, he only burns the Aegis. The open wounds come out, and now it looks like Bearcat is diving into the base. He gets the backup from target. They're able to kill off that. Tiny. And now they just have the Meepo to finish off as well. I think he just bought back. That's going to be a dieback. And Bearcat getting that Rampage. So he's going to be very happy, I think, with his performance this game and how he's executed. Clam is trying to just get out onto the bot lane. Picking up the Wisdom Rune, which will be helpful. They got 2 of them earlier in the game. I know they get more now. I'm not sure how this, you know, I'm very surprised that the support Storm Spirit has worked out the way that it has. A good game, well played is called, and TC disconnects, essentially stepping out of this game. So, I want to thank everybody for taking the time to watch. Obviously, the game today is not counting for anything, but at the very least, it was a game that we got to cast, a game that hopefully you all enjoyed watching. Thank you for joining my stream, and have a good evening. Also, Fatty, I do have poor chat involvement, but it's because I saw it was you, and I decided I didn't care.